It's October 24th, 2011, and this is about the new moon in Scorpio. I've been going about making plans to travel to the East Coast. I'm in San Francisco, and I was going to go to Boston and New York and Pennsylvania and all this, and I've been making these plans with my sister who works for an airlines, and I find I'm going to be flying out on the new moon in Scorpio to reconnect with the father of my third-born son after 35 years. And if you don't think that that's like an intense moment to be living, then think again. There's a couple of websites I want to share with you, websites and YouTube channels that I want to share with you that might help get an idea of like all the things that are going on with this, not only during this new moon, but there's other transits going on that make it like a very intense time, not just for me because I'm hooking up with a former snookums of mine, but for everybody. Scorpio is just like intense anyway. So if you have anything like I have like 4 planets in the 8th house. 8th house is like Scorpio's property. I have Pluto conjunct my sun in the 8th house, and Pluto is like a co-ruler, a modern day ruler of Scorpio. Scorpio's traditional ruler is Mars. When the outer planets were found, they said, oh, we'll throw Pluto in there because it's transformational. So intense is a speed of mine on my, internal metaphysical shift, gear shift. It's like disinterested, intense, So let's take a look at these other websites and YouTube channels, and then I'll come back and I'll talk about some other things. But this new moon, mind you, this new moon, we have to be careful what we wish for. Because remember when I told you that Saturn was going through a period of the sky that it's not going to return for another 29 years? And this is going to go on until like November 4th. Okay? New moons is when we set our mind. I'm setting my mind in motion, by the power of my mind. And we attract things to ourselves. And this is like intense and passionate and obsessive and transformational. So I'm saying be careful what you wish for, because when the gods are perverse, they give you exactly what you wish. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these other things, and then I'll be back. Okay, this is Innerself.com. This is the weekly horoscope by Pam Younghans. If that's the way we pronounce your name, forgive me if I don't pronounce it the right way. Anyway, I love her very much. I read her every month. And then, because she talks about the highlights, the aspects for this week, blah, blah, blah. New moon at 12:57 Pacific Daylight Time on a Wednesday when I'm planning on flying out. So, let's just scroll down here. See what she says. She says, our Scorpio new moon on Wednesday provides some clues about what the new lunar cycle has in store. The potential for magic under the pressure for change shows clearly in this chart for this lunation. Now, she mentions, and that's why I made this page big. She mentions some of the transits that are going on along with the new moon. Venus is conjunct Mercury in Scorpio. Let's pop over here. Let's look. We go, oh, here's Venus, here's Mercury. They're 1 degree apart. Whoops, sorry. Anyone does that? They're 1 degree apart. And so that's she's right on that. Now, so we have Sun in Scorpio, Moon in Scorpio. They're conjunct, and that makes the new moon, so we can't see the moon. Then we have Mercury, which deals with communication and the intellect, and Venus, which is your relationships, your sense of self-worth, your sense of self-esteem. And Scorpio, on the whole, Scorpio has a tendency to play the cards very close to the chest. What happens when you have somebody with a Mercury in Scorpio? They keep secrets. If it's really intense, like if they have like Scorpio, Sun and Mercury in Scorpio and they're together, sometimes they keep secrets from themselves. Like they don't know something that's glaringly obvious to everybody else. Okay, now look down here at where Mars is. Okay, we have, even though it's not exact, right? It'll be exact. Here we go. We have Mars squared Venus. Mars is the sexual action planet. Venus is the love planet. This is sort of like very simplified. People who have Mars, Venus squared in their chart have a difficulty with expressing their love for someone or figuring out how to assert themselves sexually, and especially if in the situation where Venus is in Scorpio and Scorpio is secretive. It's like, I'm not going to tell you how to make love to me. I'm going to drag red herrings in front of your path and see if I can find out how smart you are. Are you smart enough? And then Mars and Leo says, hey, I don't want to have to go through all this mysterious stuff just to get laid. I like to have someone say they love me, and that they throw confetti for me, and that they applaud when I do something fun in bed. And Venus and Scorpio is never going to give them that satisfaction. Okay, then we have Mercury. It's on the 28th. This will be exact on the 28th, but it's close enough for government work. Okay, so we have Mars in Leo, and it's squared the Mercury in Scorpio, and that's saying, again, I'm on stage, I've got a big ego, I need approbation, I need applause, I need people to love me, love me, love me. And Mercury says, I'm not even going to tell you what I think. I'm not even going to give you that satisfaction. Okay, so let's go back to the 26th. And so, yeah, Mercury and Venus are together, and we're thinking these obsessive, intense, and passionate thoughts, but are we communicating them to other people? We might have a little difficulty if there's some sort of like sexual action that's involved. You know, if you find yourself, keeping secrets from your lover, reconsider the situation, reconsider the relationship. Okay, then let's go back. It says, okay, Mars squared Venus and Mercury. We just went over that. Okay, then, and it says, okay, let's go back up here. Venus is conjuncting Mercury in Scorpio, emphasizing the themes of intimacy in our relationships and truth in our communications. Okay, we covered that. Mars squared Venus and Mercury, exposing any conflicts between our need for deep, honest connections with others and our ego's desire for attention, drama, and control. Okay, we covered that. Okay, this is the thing that I was looking at. I was going, oh my God, I'm going to be traveling. Jupiter deals with travel. And Jupiter is in Taurus, which is opposite the Sun and Moon. And it says, exaggerating the need for change and revealing where we are still holding on out of habit to our own detriment. So let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at Jupiter. Okay, Jupiter's at 5. The new moon is at, here we go. Let's go back. The new moon is at, from my calculation, is at 2 in the afternoon. This is set for Pacific time, I believe, and it's at 3 degrees. Jupiter's at 5. So let's look over here on the side here. when we go Sun opposed Jupiter, when is that going to be? That's going to be on the 28th. So it looks like the 28th is pretty hot property because we have that Mars Mercury difficulty also on the 28th, right? And then we have the Sun opposed Jupiter. Okay, Sun in Scorpio. Sun is usually, you know, warm and open, and it's the, you know, in your chart, it's your ego, and then Scorpio is like deep and secretive and in the shadows, and you know, the power behind the throne. And opposite, Jupiter's. I've been talking about Jupiter and Taurus for a while because Jupiter and Taurus just like rattles my brain because Jupiter is like expansive. You know, like I said, it has the consistency of a milkshake. It lets off 3 degrees more than it receives from the sun, and it's in Taurus. Taurus is so, you know, fixed, earth, down to earth, realistic. And so I go, well, we can talk about philosophy of food and stuff like this. But then when we have an opposition between Jupiter and Taurus, which could be our fixed philosophies, because Jupiter's philosophies, Taurus is fixed. If we are stubborn about the way we think, and then we go, and then we're, that is that Jupiter and Taurus, you know, my philosophies are fixed and I'm stubborn, and we have this opposition to the sun, which says, get rid of that which you don't need. Because the thing about Scorpio that is delightful, that's wonderful actually, is that it deals with recycling in a very intense way. You get rid of ideas, situations, people that you don't need, because Scorpio, being a water sign, is insightful. Every water sign has some sort of psychic capability. Scorpio is insightful. It can cut, like your teeth, your front teeth are called incisors, and it bites in. You can bite into things with your incisors. Well, Scorpio can bite into a situation or people or relationships, and that's why it's good with psychology, because, and that's why it could like peel away layers and open the veils of mystery and look inside and not be afraid, because it's really, because you know, it's co-ruled by the Lord of Death, you know, Pluto. So if we have some fixed ideas, some fixed philosophies that are holding us back, Scorpio says, get rid of it, because all oppositions beg for a compromise, or some meeting somewhere in the middle. Okay, so let's go back to our new moon chart. Let's go back over here to see what Pam has to say. And then it says Pluto sextile Sun and Moon. Sextile is an opportunity, okay, that if you don't reach for it, it's not going to manifest. Enabling creative change if we are willing to take the risk. Okay, Pluto talks about transformation. It's an opportunity to change our ego and our subconscious emotional response. Let's look at the signs this is involving. Okay, so do we have a Pluto sextile? Here we go. Exact. It starts, you see, it starts on the 26th. It starts, but it's not exact. And here's a sextile. Here's Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto's going to be in Capricorn until 2024. You know, so if you, wherever you have Capricorn in your chart, you're going to be going through transformation. My Snookums that I'm going to go see on the East Coast, he has Capricorn. He has the Sun in Capricorn. So his ego is being, his sense of self is being transformed. I have Capricorn on my ascendant, so my public face, the persona that I show the world, that's being transformed. Okay, so look to see wherever you have Capricorn in your chart, whether you have a planet there or not. I don't care. That house rules something. Okay? That's the house that's going to have transformation between here and 2024. Okay, so this sextile, let's look at the sextile. Oh, it's a tight one too. It's like, okay, so on October 28th, we have Sun in Scorpio at 5 degrees, and it's sextile Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto says, I'm obsessive, I have power, Capricorn. Remember, because the Pluto in Capricorn has been involved and will be involved for the next 4 years to this square to Uranus in Aries. Okay? I mean, Uranus in Aries is only at 1 degrees because, but it'll catch up because it moves faster. It moves faster than Pluto. Okay? So, the transformation of the government. Okay, we have an opportunity to throw away the deadwood. You know, Tunisia just had a vote. 90% of the people came out to vote for Tunisia. Gaddafi says, bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Gaddafi's dead. And 3 days later, Libya was claimed liberation and independence. And so, well, that was peculiar. So we're talking about Libya claimed independence, and so that's a big culling of that which is unnecessary in government. And it seems like the 28th is, I mean, the 26th is, this is a new moon video, but it seems like it's the new moon is pointing to a lot of things that are going on the 28th. You know, I'm just saying. Okay, what's the last thing that Pam was saying here? Most importantly, she says, Pluto trines Jupiter, supporting our process of transformation, enabling current shifts to be practical and long-lasting, and helping us see the positive aspects of changes that are occurring. Now, what I'm saying here is, okay, and we go, where's our trine? It's not, okay. 28th again. Give me a break. So, all these things are happening on the 28th. You know, I mean, we had, rewind the video to find out all the things that are happening on the 28th. Yeah, I'm talking about this is a new moon chart, but this new moon is saying, look to these changes that are going on. This, because Jupiter moves a little slower than the Sun, this trine is going to be hanging out a little longer. Jupiter's luck, you know, higher level thought, money, luck, and expansion, has to do with international stuff. We're saying we're transforming the government. Tunisia's got to come up with a constitution. The same changes that happened, you know, in Tunisia have to happen in Egypt, and now has to happen in Libya. The guy who heads of Syria is like sweating bullets, I'm sure. No pun intended. So let's go back and take a look at our new moon. And oh, there's a couple of YouTube channels I want to turn you on to before this thing just gets altogether too long. Dorothy Morgan on YouTube. She has new moon in Scorpio, and she talks about sex, soulmates, and transformation. She always talks about moon stuff, new moon and full moon stuff. Love her, love her, love her. Okay, now Rose Astrology. She also talks about the new moon in Scorpio. She's very sweet, Kathy Rose. They're both very gentle people. They're not like rough around the edges like I am. But anyway, if you want to have a different view, their videos are much shorter. Like hers is like 4 minutes, and hers is like 5 minutes, and I'm going on 20 minutes because I'm just like nattering along like a crazy person. The crazy person that I am. Okay, the practical side of Jupiter and Taurus and Pluto and Capricorn is because they're Earth signs. So being a trine, Earth to Earth, that's a good luck. It's a really good time to hammer out a constitution, because that Pluto and Capricorn is saying we're going to transform the government. Well, they're transforming the government, no doubt, in the Middle East. And Jupiter says, let's make the philosophies practical, because having the Jupiter and Taurus makes the philosophies like down to earth. So let's hope that the decisions that are made, those changes that are made, are going to be practical and are going to be fruitful and transformative for those areas of the world. Now, let's bring this energy back to ourselves, okay? Because Mars is in Leo and it's going to be squaring, Venus and Mercury in Scorpio. Don't let your ego get in the way of being able to share deep thoughts and deep feelings. I mean, you can only dance to yourself in front of the mirror so long. You can't kiss yourself. You need this interaction. So, and also keeping secrets is because it's like your power to keep secrets. That's sort of like game playing too. Be careful. Be careful about that. Oh, sorry about the jump. The reason why we have to be careful about these game playing during the new moon is the new moon is when we draw things to ourselves. And if we are playing games, if we're being ego, on stage, I'm in love with me, and we're not communicating truthfully, then what are we drawing to ourselves during this new moon? It's going to be hard to get up off of our nonsense, and it's going to be hard to be open and communicative about how we feel. Know this. And also, it's altogether likely that people will get their feelings hurt, and they'll get all pouty, and there'll be unnecessary arguments, and the new moon is not the time to draw that kind of energy to yourself. We also have Saturn going through a period of the sky that is not going to return to for 29 years until November 4th. So if we break up with people, be ready to say, adios to them for good. If we're accepting someone in our lives and in our hearts, be ready for a long-term commitment. That's why I've been very careful with being as open and as honest to the father of my third-born son, who I've seen in like 35 years. I'm telling him all what's in my head and what's in my heart, and even if it's scary, and even if it's like, oh, if I tell him this, maybe he won't want to hang out with me. I'm saying, I don't care. I have to be truthful to myself. And if he's gonna love me again, he's gotta love who I really am, and I can't share that without being scary honest. Open my heart, scary honest. Here, walk on my heart. there I am. So Scorpio is an intense time, and so when the sun and the moon's in Scorpio, we have Venus, Mercury in Scorpio, and then we have these, these other planets impacting upon them, and it's going to be an intense time. Be truthful, be honest, be insightful about what your motivations are, and be careful what you wish for. Because, as you know, when the gods are perverse, they give you exactly what you ask for. Okay, let's see if, oh God, it's almost 2:30. Let's wrap this up. I'll see you all around Thanksgiving time, because that's when I'll be back in San Francisco. I don't know what sort of webcam capabilities anybody has when I'm out on the road, and I don't have that kind of equipment. Hire me as an astrologer if you think I'm hip. Maybe I can buy good equipment so when I'm on the road I can load up videos on a mobile sort of like iPad type of dealy. Oh, that would be really cute. I easily draw to myself new equipment with this new moon. No, that's not what we do. Okay, toodaloos. See you in 3 weeks.